1. When designing curriculum for the Consolidated Political Compass Test, which approach best ensures inclusivity and balanced representation of political ideologies? A. Emphasize one dominant political framework for clarity. B. Include diverse perspectives without privileging any ideology. C. Focus solely on the economic dimension of political thought. D. Exclude controversial ideologies to avoid bias. 2. Which evaluation method best measures a learner's ability to critically analyze political compass results? A. True-false quizzes. B. Multiple-choice recall questions. C. Case study-based reflective analysis. D. Matching terms with definitions. 3. A mentor guides a learner through interpreting political compass results. What is the mentor's primary responsibility? A. Impose their own political views for context. B. Encourage independent reflection and evidence-based reasoning. C. Provide memorization techniques for compass categories. D. Focus exclusively on test-taking strategies. 4. In adult learning principles, why is self-directed exploration critical when studying the political compass framework? A. Adults prefer passive listening. B. Adults value direct application to real-world contexts. C. Adults rely heavily on rote memorization. D. Adults cannot process abstract concepts. 5. When ensuring compliance with testing regulations, what factor is most important for the Consolidated Political Compass Test? A. Political neutrality in item design. B. Maximizing test length for rigor. C. Emphasizing only historical ideologies. D. Avoiding alignment with learning theories. 6. Which communication strategy is most effective in presenting complex political spectrum concepts to adult learners? A. Use technical jargon without simplification. B. Relate concepts to current real-world political debates. C. Avoid contemporary examples to prevent confusion. D. Emphasize memorization of definitions. 7. During evaluation, how can instructors best measure higher-order thinking about the political compass? A. Ask learners to list ideology names. B. Require analysis of hypothetical political scenarios. C. Focus on reciting historical events. D. Grade solely on speed of responses. 8. When mentoring learners preparing for the test, which technique aligns most with adult learning principles? A. Providing pre-written political opinions. B. Encouraging critical debate and peer discussion. C. Limiting discussion to official test answers. D. Steering conversations away from controversial issues. 9. In curriculum development, what should be prioritized to reflect the consolidated nature of the political compass test? A. Only focusing on authoritarian versus libertarian axis. E. Integrating both economic and social dimensions. C. Highlighting cultural rather than political frameworks. E. Excluding case studies to maintain neutrality. 10. Which evaluation method best balances fairness and rigor for adult learners? A. Timed factual recall tests. B. Open-ended analysis essays. C. Group debates without scoring. D. Single answer multiple choice. 11. Why is mentoring critical in preparing learners for the test? A. To ensure learners adopt the mentor's ideology. B. To promote autonomy in navigating complex ideas. C. To reduce study time through shortcuts. D. To enforce memorization of political terms. 12. Which principle of adult learning is most applicable to the test's interdisciplinary nature? A. Learning should be abstract and disconnected. B. Learning should relate to learners' personal experiences. C. Learning should discourage questioning authority. D. Learning should prioritize speed over depth. 13. How can test designers ensure regulatory compliance while covering controversial political ideologies? A. Avoid including them altogether. B. Present them neutrally without endorsement. C. Portray them as invalid perspectives. D. Place emphasis on majority ideologies only. 14. Which communication skill is most important for an instructor explaining results of the Compass test? A. Active listening to learners' interpretations. Delivering a one-way lecture without interaction. C. Correcting learners immediately without discussion. D. Using technical political jargon exclusively. 15. In evaluating test performance, which technique best supports adult learners' growth? A. Providing detailed feedback with reasoning. B. Assigning letter grades only. C. Comparing learners to each other. D. Offering minimal feedback for efficiency. 16. What is the main purpose of integrating mentoring techniques into test preparation? A. To give learners the correct political identity. B. To foster critical reflection and confidence. C. To eliminate independent thought. D. To prioritize exam shortcuts over comprehension. 17. In curriculum design, how should instructors handle the balance between theory and practice? A. Teach theory exclusively. B. Use case studies to connect theory with real-world politics. C. Avoid current events in instruction. D. Focus only on rote memorization. 18. Why should adult learners be encouraged to compare Compass results with their lived experiences? A. To reinforce self-directed learning. B. To discourage critical thinking. C. To reduce time spent on reflection. D. To avoid complexity and understanding. 19. Which regulatory concern is most important in the administration of the test? A. Equal access and fairness for all learners. B. Prioritizing learners with specific ideologies. C. Shortening test time to minimize complexity. D. Requiring rote memorization of political labels. 20. What is the best evaluation strategy for testing both comprehension and application of the political compass? A. Simple recall of definitions. B. Analysis of policy case studies. C. Memorization of compass quadrants. D. Guessing multiple choice questions. 21. When mentoring, what is the best way to address a learner's disagreement with their compass results? A. Ignore their concerns and move on. B. Engage them in reflective dialogue about interpretation. C. Tell them their results are absolute and final. D. Discourage them from questioning the test. 22. Which curriculum development practice ensures comprehensive coverage of political ideologies? A. Including perspectives across the spectrum without bias. B. Centering the curriculum on a single ideology. C. Avoiding less common political theories. D. Using only Western political examples. 23. Why is formative assessment valuable in preparing learners for the test? It allows ongoing feedback to guide learning. B. It eliminates the need for summative testing. C. It discourages adaptation during instruction. D. It focuses only on final results. 24. Which communication method most effectively explains the dual-axis nature of the compass? A. Visual diagrams paired with verbal explanation. B. Memorization of abstract text definitions. C. Avoidance of visual aids to maintain seriousness. D. Exclusive reliance on lecture notes. 25. What is the best mentoring strategy when a learner shows anxiety about test performance? A. Encourage open discussion and coping strategies. B. Insist they memorize all compass categories. C. Downplay their concerns to save time. D. Suggest they avoid preparation altogether. 26. In test evaluation, which practice ensures fairness across diverse learners? A. Cultural bias in item design. B. Clear, unambiguous wording of questions. C. Prioritizing one political culture's terminology. D. Using complex, inaccessible language. 27. Why is communication essential in test preparation for adult learners? It builds clarity and reduces misinterpretation. B. It restricts learners' autonomy. C. It prioritizes memorization over comprehension. D. It eliminates the need for reflection. 28. How can instructors ensure curriculum relevance for the test? A. Connect content to contemporary political debates. B. Focus solely on ancient ideologies. C. Exclude real-world connections. D. Use only abstract political philosophy. 29. Which adult learning principle aligns best with the reflective nature of interpreting Compass results? A. Learners are motivated by relevance and self-application. B. Learners thrive on passive absorption of lectures. C. Learners avoid integrating knowledge into life. D. Learners prefer memorization without context. 30. What is the key regulatory compliance requirement in political test delivery? A. Transparency and impartiality in assessment design. B. Prioritizing one ideology for efficiency. C. Excluding minority perspectives. D. Allowing instructor bias in scoring.